Who really is Donald Trump? A boxer or someone who only cares about himself? Chapter 1. Donald Trump's childhood and youth. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York. He was the fourth of 5 children in the Trump family. His father, Fred Trump, was a successful real estate developer of German descent, and his mother, Mary McLeod Trump, was a homemaker. The Trump family was known for their hard-working and traditional values, and Fred always taught his children that success required relentless effort. From an early age, Trump exhibited unique traits. He was energetic and highly confident. But he also faced challenges in school. As a teenager, he often clashed with his classmates and was particularly sensitive to weakness and failure. His father, a strict and serious man, always advised him to be a killer in life and never tolerate weakness. These lessons shaped Trump's competitive nature from a young age. At school, he constantly strived to distinguish himself and stand his ground against any challenge. One day, after behaving defiantly towards one of his teachers, his father decided to send him to a private military school. At the military academy, Trump experienced a major transformation in his character. The environment was tough and competitive, serving as a school of life for him. Not only did he excel in sports, but he also proved his leadership and teamwork skills. In his final years, he was appointed as the captain of the sports teams and was named the ladies' man in the school yearbook. After finishing high school, Trump enrolled at Fordham University in New York. However, he only studied there for a short period before transferring to the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School, one of the most prestigious business schools in the United States. His education at Wharton provided him with valuable insights into business and economics, equipping him with the skills to enter the world of commerce. After graduating in 1968, Trump joined the family business and quickly demonstrated his abilities in the real estate industry. His early years were spent working alongside his father on various projects. However, he soon realized that in order to truly progress, he needed to step out of his father's shadow and establish himself as an independent developer. This mindset led him to take on larger projects in New York. By the 1970s, Trump introduced new strategies and a different approach to the real estate market. He understood that to succeed in business, he needed to turn his name into a brand. As a result, he decided to rename the family business to Trump Organization, a move designed to give it more prestige and grandeur. This rebranding marked the first step in Trump's journey toward becoming a major business figure recognized worldwide. During this period, he continued to expand and develop his brand through the smart use of media, advertising, and public relations. This era was a turning point, as Trump established himself as a prominent businessman in New York, launching major projects such as Trump Tower and luxury hotels. Chapter 2. Entering the world of business and the Trump brand. But Trump did not stop at financial and real estate success alone. Soon he began to expand his brand into other fields. In the late 1970s, Trump ventured into the world of television, appearing on various shows and interviews, thereby establishing his name as a media personality. These steps transformed him from a simple real estate developer into a globally recognized celebrity. In the 1980s, Trump further expanded his empire by venturing into casinos and hotels. By constructing and opening massive casinos in Atlantic City, he entered the world of entertainment and leisure. These moves helped the Trump brand break into new markets, evolving it into a multifaceted enterprise alongside real estate. Leveraging the power of media and television networks, Trump quickly became influential in both business and media circles. He appeared on various TV shows, published his own books, and launched products such as perfumes and accessories bearing his name. This progression rapidly transformed him from a real estate developer into a global brand. At the same time, Trump began to build his personal brand, consistently presenting himself as a successful entrepreneur. Slogans like "Make America Great Again" and his public display of personal achievements helped him create a powerful image in the minds of the people. Trump was well aware of the impact that media and advertising could have on building a brand and growing his business. Chapter 3. Entering politics and the transformation of the Trump brand in the late 2000s and early 2010s, Donald Trump became more seriously involved in politics. Before this, he was primarily known as a successful real estate entrepreneur and a famous television personality, but he had been interested in politics for a long time. Initially, his political interests were informal, expressed through public comments on various issues. In 2011, Trump unofficially entered the heated political debates in the United States, launching sharp criticisms against the Obama administration and its policies. He even demanded that Obama release his birth certificate, turning it into a major public controversy. At the time, Trump became widely recognized for these statements, gaining popularity as a media figure due to his outspoken objections to government policies. He frequently voiced his opinions through the media and Twitter, quickly becoming one of the most talked-about personalities. However, more than anything, Trump used this exposure to promote himself and build his personal brand. These media-driven moves allowed him to be recognized not only in politics but also in the public sphere. In 2011, he attended political conferences and informally hinted that he might run for president. Many analysts and media outlets dismissed this as a joke, but Trump successfully positioned himself as a new political contender in the public consciousness. By 2012, Trump became even more involved in politics, claiming that if he were to run for president, he could win the election. In his speeches, he addressed the economic and trade issues facing the United States and proposed solutions. From the very beginning, Trump demonstrated that he did not adhere to traditional political norms and, unlike other politicians, was unafraid to express his views bluntly. Despite not entering the 2012 election race, Trump continued to attract attention and, during this period, became one of the most prominent unofficial political figures. His sharp criticisms of Obama's policies kept his name relevant in political discussions. This attention, combined with his growing presence on social media, helped him transition from a business mogul to a political figure with significant influence. During this time, Trump maintained his media presence and soon further expanded into television and mass media. In 2004, he launched The Apprentice, a reality TV show that solidified his reputation as a credible television brand. The show was highly successful, generating substantial revenue through licensing, advertising deals, and partnerships with major networks. The Apprentice not only strengthened Trump's brand but also turned him into a well-known and widely recognized figure in the media. Chapter 4. The 2016 presidential campaign and the fight for nomination. On June 16, 2015, Donald Trump officially announced his candidacy for the presidency of the United States. In a symbolic move, he descended the escalator of Trump Tower and began his speech to the tune of "Rockin' in the Free World" by Neil Young. While many viewed Trump's entrance into the election as a joke, he confidently launched a fierce attack against Barack Obama's policies and the U.S. government from the very beginning. In his speech, Trump harshly criticized the economic and social situation in America, stating that the country no longer had major victories and had become a dumping ground. He blamed the nation's inability to solve economic and military problems and condemned trade and financial agreements that, in his view, only benefited other countries. He also strongly criticized U.S. immigration policies and the southern border issue, calling for the construction of a massive wall between the U.S. and Mexico. These statements quickly dominated the headlines and positioned Trump as a unique and unconventional candidate. Trump's campaign, built on the slogan, "Make America Great Again," rapidly gained momentum, attracting support from various segments of the American population. His views were not only bold in economics and immigration but also in foreign policy, where he took a non-traditional approach. He criticized interventionist policies and vowed that the United States would no longer engage in unnecessary foreign wars. One of the most controversial moments of his campaign was his remarks about Mexican immigrants. He claimed that Mexicans coming to the U.S. were bringing drugs and crime, and that some were rapists. These statements triggered a wave of backlash, but rather than harming his campaign, they kept him in the media spotlight. For many of his supporters, these comments reinforced the idea that Trump was a truth-teller who was unafraid to speak his mind. Throughout his campaign, Trump frequently made shocking and provocative statements that dominated media coverage. He challenged the traditional norms of politics and portrayed himself as an outsider who refused to talk like a typical career politician. This approach resonated with many voters, especially those who were frustrated with the political establishment. One of Trump's biggest challenges was the resistance he faced from Republican rivals who were determined to stop him. Figures like Ted Cruz and John Kasich tried to undermine him by attacking his financial, ethical, and political weaknesses. However, Trump responded aggressively, often using blunt or even insulting remarks, which only solidified his dominance in the primaries. In the early months of the Republican primaries, Trump secured major victories across multiple states, quickly establishing himself as the leading candidate for the 2016 Republican nomination. Despite repeated efforts by his opponents to derail his momentum, Trump leveraged the power of the media and strategic positioning to win over Republican voters and secure his place in the final race for the presidency. Chapter 5. The 2016 presidential race and the battle with Hillary Clinton. In this election, Trump faced many challenges but was able to effectively use public dissatisfaction with the political state of America. He sharply criticized economic problems, unemployment, and political corruption, promising that he would change everything. He also strongly emphasized the importance of rebuilding the American economy and confronting foreign threats like China and Iran. Trump's main rival in this election was Hillary Clinton, one of the prominent politicians of the Democratic Party and former Secretary of State. Clinton, who was recognized from the beginning as an experienced politician, intended to become the first female president of the United States. From the outset, she faced problems like the scandal of her private emails, which led to divisions within her campaign. Trump, who believed in his ability to attract media attention through controversial remarks, managed to draw significant attention in many debates and interviews. In one of the televised debates with Hillary Clinton, where he fiercely attacked her over corruption and political behavior, he demonstrated that he could stand his ground against an experienced opponent. During this period, the issue known as WikiLeaks and the exposure of Hillary Clinton's emails became the hottest political topic. The revelation of these emails gave Trump the opportunity to attack her severely and question Clinton's political credibility. This issue made Trump feel that he had gained a significant advantage in the election campaign. Trump heavily relied on media and social networks during this time and used Twitter extensively to reach voters. He consistently utilized these platforms to attack his opponents and amplify his messages. This strategy helped him appear stronger against the media and opposing factions, keeping him at the forefront of the news. Ultimately, the 2016 election became one of the most tumultuous and tense elections in American history. Confident in his potential victories in pivotal states, Trump continued his election campaigns. Despite many criticisms and negative forecasts, he managed to win in a fierce competition and, by securing victories in key states like Florida, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, achieved victory. Chapter 6. The Turbulent Years, 2021-2024. The Post-Presidency Hustle. After losing the 2020 election, Donald Trump did not retreat from the national stage. Instead, he remained a powerful figure within the Republican Party and a constant presence in conservative media. During the years following his presidency, Trump held large rallies, consistently repeated claims of electoral fraud, and maintained his America First message. He launched his own social media platform, Truth Social, to bypass mainstream channels and directly connect with his loyal base. These actions, reported by outlets like CNN and Reuters, allowed him to keep his influence alive despite no longer Holding office. In addition to holding rallies, Trump was active in endorsing candidates in Republican primaries and frequently appeared at political events. His speeches, loaded with his signature rhetoric, served as a rallying cry for those disenchanted with the establishment. Political analysts from Politico noted that even as legal battles and investigations mounted, Trump's ability to mobilize grassroots supporters helped him remain a central figure in the party. Behind the scenes, he was involved in fundraising and organized high-profile events that often made headlines for their controversial nature. While many of his critics focused on the unresolved legal issues and accusations related to his previous term, Trump positioned these challenges as evidence of a rigged system, a narrative that further solidified his standing among his supporters. His non-presidential years were marked by a blend of defiant public appearances, aggressive media commentary, and strategic political endorsements, ensuring that his voice dominated conservative discourse throughout 2021-2024. Chapter 7. The 2024 Comeback and the Road to the 2025 Presidency. As the political landscape grew increasingly polarized in the early 2020s, the seeds of Trump's comeback were sown. Amidst a deeply divided electorate and ongoing discontent with the direction of national policies, Trump's persistent messaging resonated once again. In a tumultuous 2024 election cycle, after months of heated speculation and a fiercely contested Republican primary, Trump secured the nomination for the presidency. During the primary battles, Trump faced formidable opponents from within the GOP. Figures such as Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, and other rising conservative stars challenged his dominance. Yet Trump's unyielding style, his mastery of provocative rhetoric, and his unparalleled media presence allowed him to overcome these rivals. Major outlets like the New York Times and BBC described the primary as a dramatic showdown in which Trump's populist message, focusing on issues like border security, economic nationalism, and anti-establishment sentiment, proved irresistible to a large segment of Republican voters. In the general election, the campaign was marked by intense debates over immigration, economic recovery following a prolonged recession, and the lingering controversies of his previous term. Despite the fact that his opponent, who emerged from the Democratic Party's efforts to offer a moderate alternative, faced significant internal challenges of her own, amid scandals like the leaked emails and debates over foreign policy, Trump's message of taking back the country struck a chord. His ability to harness the power of social media, combined with massive rallies that energize his base, proved crucial in what many analysts called one of the most remarkable political comebacks in modern American history. By a series of narrow victories in key battleground states such as Florida, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and after weeks of a polarized and contentious campaign, the Electoral College results finally tipped in his favor. In a stunning turn of events, despite securing a lower total popular vote, Trump's strategy in winning the states that mattered propelled him to victory. On a cold January day in 2025, he was inaugurated as the 45th President of the United States. This dramatic return to power, as detailed by Reuters and Politico, marked not only a personal triumph over past defeats, but also a seismic shift in American politics, as Trump capitalized on long-standing grievances against the political establishment.